Today we are going to do reflection of light. Now, the first property of light is light always travels in a straight line. This light, this property of light of traveling in a straight line is known as rectilinear propagation of light. Now, what happens when light falls on a plane mirror? This is a plane mirror. The ray of light that falls on a plane mirror is known as the incident ray. At the point at which the ray falls, this point is known as the point of incidence. At the point of incidence, if we make 90 degrees, this is known as the normal. Okay, the ray which falls on the mirror is not the incident ray. After reflection, it reflects back in the same medium. This ray is known as the reflected ray. This angle between the incident ray and the normal is known as the angle of incidence. And the angle between the normal and the reflected ray is known as angle of reflection. So a quick recap: the ray which falls on the mirror is known as the incident ray. The ray which reflects back into the medium is known as the normal reflected ray, and this is the normal. And the angle of incidence is always equal to the angle of reflection. Okay? Now, let's talk about a point. This is a mirror. A point A. You always draw two rays to form the image. The incident ray and the normal. And this is the reflected ray. This, another ray is drawn. This is the normal, and this is the reflected ray. This is the object, and this is the image. In a plane mirror, object distance is always equal to the image distance. Now, in a plane mirror, if an object is placed in front of the mirror, the image formed, this is the incident ray, this is the reflected ray, this is another ray drawn. The image formed is formed behind the mirror. The rays after reflection do not meet. They appear to meet at a point. This point, that is why the image formed is a virtual image. The image formed in a plane mirror is always a virtual image because after reflection, the rays do not meet. They appear to meet at a point. And remember, the object distance is always equals to the image distance. There are certain properties of an image properties of an image. Number one, virtual. The image formed is always virtual. Number two, the image distance is equal to the object distance. Number three, image height equals to the object height. And an image formed is always laterally inverted. Laterally inverted means the left hand becomes the right hand becomes the left hand. In a plane mirror, always our object A, AB, when the image is formed, is always laterally inverted. That is why you find in ambulances the word ambulance is written in reverse so that people who are driving in front can see the ambulance in the correct form. The word ambulance in the correct form. Okay? Another very important property of reflection is that when two mirrors are kept inclined at each other at a certain angle, and when an object is placed in between, any object, the number of images formed of this object A is given by the formula 360 upon theta minus 1. This theta is this angle. For example, if this angle is 60 degrees, theta equals to 60 degrees. Therefore, images formed will be 360 upon 60 minus 1. That is 6 minus 1. That equals to 5 images. Okay. Let's talk about a periscope. A periscope is used by submarines generally to see things at the top, or to see when you want to see something over an obstacle, you need a periscope. A periscope has two mirrors here. This is 90, this is 90. Your eye is here. The rays which are coming straight from here, they hit this mirror and are reflected back to this mirror. and then after, from here, it's reflected back to your eye. So things which are here can be seen by your eye very easily from here. This is generally used in submarines, in a stadium where there are a lot of people in front of you when you can't see a football match or a cricket match. A periscope helps you in that. Now, so a quick recap of whatever it is. Reflection of light. Light always travels in a straight line. The ray of light that falls on a mirror is known as the incident ray. The point at which it touches is known as the point of incidence. The 90 degrees drawn at this point is known as the normal. And the ray that goes back into the medium is known as the reflected ray. The angle of incidence, this is between the normal and the incident ray is known as the angle of incidence. The angle between the normal and the reflected ray is known as the reflected ray. And always angle of incidence equals to angle of reflection. Now, what happens if the surface is not plane? If the surface is not plane, it is uneven. It will not follow the laws of reflection. The rays which fall parallelly on the surface will be reflected back in different directions. This is known as diffuse reflection, when they don't follow the laws of reflection. The laws of reflection says that, number one, angle of incidence equals to angle of reflection. Number two, incident ray reflected ray and the normal lie on the same plane. The incident ray, the normal and the reflected ray lie on the same plane. The angle of incidence equals to angle of reflection. These are the two laws of reflection. But on an uneven surface, these laws are not followed. The reflection is uneven, it follows, the reflection is in all directions. And this is what helps us in seeing things. Whenever you go to a theater to see a movie, the surface of the screen is always uneven, so that diffuse reflection takes place and the light is spread over, all over. Whatever furniture, whatever things you see in your room is all due to diffuse reflection, because light scatters in all directions from that surface. So, number one, so the recap is that the laws of reflection, the incident ray, the normal and the reflected ray lie in the same plane. The angle of incidence equals to the angle of reflection. The properties of an image formed in a mirror is that object distance equals to image distance, object height equals to image height. The image formed is virtual and it is laterally inverted. And when two mirrors are inclined to each other and when an object is placed in between them, the number of images formed equals to 360 upon theta minus 1.